have to learn water cycle and how does it rain. Students, we know that the surface of the water or the surface of Earth's water gets heat is in form and water gets heat from sun. Now, as this water gets heated and starts evaporate continuously, means always water is as remain in same condition. No, water gets heat from sun and it starts evaporates continuously during the surface of the water. But even the water that has percolated, look here, water that has percolated in the soil also evaporates due to the heat and enters the atmosphere. Means even the water that has percolated means collected into the soil, the ground water, even that gets heated and starts evaporation because of getting heat from the sun. Means when water gets heat from the sun, it continuously starts to evaporation, and after evaporates it enters into the atmosphere. Do you understand up to here? Okay. Now students, when the water is heated up, look here, water vapor is lighter than air, it rises high up into the atmosphere. But which water vapor or how water vapors are formed? So, when the water is heated up, it changes into the water vapor, means water gets heat from the sun and it continuously evaporates. Then water is after heating changes into water vapor, and these water vapors are very lighter, and these are lighter than air. So it rises up and goes higher up into the atmosphere, and we know that air is at this place very cooler. It cools and condenses, forming varied droplets of water. But how? Student, not as hot as that on the surface of the earth. So when the water vapors combines with this cool air, and it starts condensing, and condense means water vapors changes into the droplets of the water. Students, if water gets heat from sun, it continuously evaporates and it changes into water vapors, and these water vapors changes into droplets of water after condensation. Now these droplets of water are very small. They are very light and they start floated and they forms cloud. So when the water gets heat from sun, it continuously evaporates. After that, water vapors are formed, and when they combine with cool air, they form droplets of water. So these small droplets which are floating, they combine to the other droplets of the water and they become bigger and bigger drops, and these bigger drops are more heavy. When these droplets floating and they combine together, they become heavy. So now they cannot float. So these bigger droplets, they falling down in the form of the rain. You understand how does it rain? Okay, so that is how we get rain on our earth. This explanation. Now these processes, that is of evaporation, condensation and rainfall, go on in a continuous cycle. This is known as the water cycle in nature. Again listen. Process of evaporation, condensation and rainfall go on in a continuous cycle. This is known as water cycle in nature. Student, this is common definition of water cycle. But what is mean of evaporation and what is mean of condensation and how rain is formed? So listen. Evaporation. Students, water takes heat from the sun and it forms water vapor to the atmosphere is called evaporation. Again listen, water heating up and from water vapor to the atmosphere is called evaporation. And then water cooling down, that is called what? Condensation. And that is water vapors cool down and that is formed into droplets, so that cooling process is called condensation. And when the all water droplets collect and they form into big clouds and they cannot hold together, so they come down into the surface of the earth in the form of rain. So this whole process is called water cycle. Do you understand about water cycle? Okay students. Here one activity is given for you. Can you tell? Make as a long list as you can of all the living things you see in the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. So now in this activity you have to add as many things or living things as you can see, you can think on the surface of the earth. Do you understand? Okay students. Students, in the next video we will learn deep information using this diagram of water cycle of how does it rain or what is mean of water cycle. We learn using this diagram or this picture. Also in next lecture we will start our next subtopic or last subtopic of this chapter, the earth and its living world. Last subtopic, the biosphere. Okay student, do you understand about our today's subtopic? How does it rain, evaporation, condensation?